Sharon brought so much joy to all of our lives, but one thing that stands out to me is that whenever I was with her, she made me feel like I was the most precious human being on the planet. She praised everyone for their intellect and talents. I witnessed her doing this over and over again. She embraced everyone in that glowing presence of pure love, humor, and grace. Sharon taught me that transitions are a part of life, allowing for perpetual renewal of spirit. A bud gives way to a new flower, which surrenders to the fruit, which gives rise to a seed, which yields to a new sprout. Even as we ride the roller coaster of loss, we can embrace the internal reference of the ever-present witness. We are all witness to Sharon Miller's ever-present spirit. Her love and her light forever lives on in everyone she touched.
Well, hello, the students arrived. Hello, Brian, JT, and little Margaret and Capri. Welcome. Come on in.
I just want to say, Sharon, I love you. You are in my heart and my spirit, and I will unwind with you till death, and I will rock next year with you. I love you.
Sharon, I love you. I feel so blessed to have met you and have you as such a wonderful boss and part of my life.
One fateful Halloween night in 1985, on my 26th birthday at Merlin McFly's on Main Street in Santa Monica, there he was. I was going there, my students had just given me a great send-off from UCLA. I had all these packages and flowers, and it was Halloween night, and everybody was dressed up, and I go into the bar to get my one free drink for my birthday, and there's no place to sit down. And I took the bus everywhere, so every dollar counted at that time for me, so I wanted my free drink. So this gentleman stands up, and they announce, Mark, the bartender at the time, I knew he was a mathematician, graduate student at UCLA. He was wearing a tutu. And he says, "It's Sharon's birthday," he announces, and everybody just dancing on the bars. It's crazy. The Swedish guy stands up. He says, "Hey, it's your birthday. Take my seat." I sit down, and I was a little slimmer, but I still had my, And I sit down at the bar, and to the right of me is this gentleman. He's not dressed up for Halloween. He has a surgical eye patch. He just had RK surgery on one of his eyes. And he's got like a Christian Dior shirt on, And he's slumped over. He's got his head down on the bar, like this. And he's got all these upside down, empty pyramid glasses, like shot glasses built in a pyramid, empty. And I sit down, and he sees these at eye level, and he rears up and, well, hello there. And I'm like, oh, he is alive. And he says, well, we start talking away, and oh my gosh, we work at UCLA, and I'm thinking, this guy's kind of a nerd. And in 1985, he says, what are you doing on Sunday night? And I said, well, what should I be doing? And he says, you need to be taking a ride in my airplane. And I said, looks a little nerdy. Maybe he does want to fly an airplane. And I think I've never been in an airplane before in my life. I still had hayseed in my teeth from Illinois, right? Him and I in a cockpit of a little Cessna. I don't know if any of you have ever been in a small airplane. His big belly and my big, We're up there. He goes, okay, now suck it in, Sharon. We suck it in. We close the doors. And the yoke has to be free and clear. You have to pull it back, and and sometimes it wasn't free and clear when we were in those little two-seaters, but that's okay. He takes a book off the dash, and he starts thumbing through this book. I'm like, oh, Mother Mary, this guy doesn't have a gosh darn airplane. I've really done it now. How am I going to get out of this one? So anyway, well, he's laughing under his breath, and he says, I just have to let go. I said, do you know how to land an airplane? And he says, yeah. I said, I'm just looking up the radio frequency to let him know we're inbound. So that was our first date. And from that moment on, he became known as my J baby.
My name is Jeannie, and I worked with Sharon for 14 years, and I love her, and Jay was a great man, as I now know.
My name is Ranford Hopkins, and I also, like Jeannie, work with Sharon, and I tell you, there's another side of Sharon I didn't know. I always knew Sharon was a special person and a bright person. I was inspired by her wild stories.
I say we all go pet a whale. What do you say?
My first Christmas gift that year from Jay was a 1960 S2 Saloon Bentley. So I went from a bus to a Bentley, and I said, you're kidding me. And I got to drive that car for 5 years every day to UCLA, and the students at Ackerman Union would stand in the food, for lunch line at the student union and say, that's the lady that drives the Bentley. 4 years to the day of our first date, November 4th, 1989, we were married at UCLA Ackerman Union Student Union. So I walked on Bruin Walk in my wedding dress. And I became a certified scuba diver on my honeymoon. I didn't know how to swim, but you know what I found out? Fat floats in salt water. And I'm thinking, shoot, I could swim all day in the ocean. I'm getting all suited up, and the dive master is telling us what the dive profile is going to be. And I'm looking at Jake, and goes, well, the wreck starts at 120 feet. So he says, now, Missy, when you jump off the boat, we don't bob back to the surface and say we're okay like you do in California. You just keep on going down because of the drift. There was a huge continental drift. We're off of West Palm Beach. I'm looking at Jay. What have you gotten me into? All the men on that boat shook my hand and they said, Missy, we thought we were going to have to babysit the chubby gal from California, but you know what? You're a pretty good little diver. And Jay said, I told you so. One thing for sure, the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away, and our body from spirit doth slowly unwind until we are pure spirit at the end. It was the most precious moment of my life to help my J baby transition into spirit. May each of you find as rich and great a love as Jay and I shared.